To such an extent, it's sensitive to this extent that if I take a glass of water in my hand and just look at it in a certain way and give it to you, well-being will come to you. If I look at it another way and give it to you, you will fall sick tonight. This is no more superstition, this is science. In this culture, they taught you, if you have to eat your food, first you bow down to it. You are not saying thank you to any god, okay? Please don't do this. If at all, if you want to thank somebody, thank that poor farmer who doesn't eat what he grows and gives it to you. We are not thanking any gods, we are not looking up and saying thanks for the daily bread, whatever. We are just bowing down to the food because we know how you treat the food, accordingly it behaves within you. Today, but nothing comes into our understanding. As science explores more and more, it is only getting more confounded. The only reason why science is surviving is because it's throwing out useful technologies on the side. If that was not there, science is far more confused in 100 years of exploration than it ever was before. But that's a good sign. If they had made stupid conclusions, there would be one more religion. Science is confounded today. The top physicists in the world are saying, we not only do not know, we know we will never know. This is a good sign, because this means your intelligence will remain on an explorative mode all the time, on an active mode, not… Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin's theory of evolution is only 152 years old. Adiyogi spoke about this over 15,000 years ago. And then natural… When we say time, in the yogic perception, which ultimately modern physics will come to someday, hopefully, is time is the basic aspect of creation. Because of time, there is gravity. Because of gravity, everything else. Right now, the problem with modern physics is they have reasonably understood the other forces, they're unable to understand what's gravity. Gravity is a consequence of time. It's not the other way round. Because there is time, there is gravity. The word time itself may not conjure that image in your mind. The Sanskrit word is correct, it's kala. Kala means two things, time and emptiness. Kali, not talking about the Devi. Kali means what? Empty. Kala means darkness, kala means time, and it also means emptiness. If you try to speak with little more personified context, we will call this Shiva. In that sense, there is no science which is a larger application except physics. There is no other science, or even physics. There is no other science which is as largely applicable as yogic sciences. But you can feel the body becomes far more buoyant in that water simply because of the sheer energy, because of the molecular arrangement has changed so dramatically because of the reverberation which is constantly on. We can create this in our own homes. I'm internationally acceptable way of making a Jivarasam. Have you seen the Jivarasam? So I'm designing and making a Jivarasam which will be internationally acceptable. Right now, what we're making in India is a very powerful Jivarasam, but there is a fetish in the world about certain substances, so we are making another kind of Jivarasam. A copper pot, a Jivarasam, a lamp on top of it. If you can put a flower or a leaf on it, it's fine. You put this in your house and consume this water on a daily basis. Most probably, it's not like a guarantee because there's so many other influences, but largely I would say, you will not get into chronic ailments. You have to catch a bug, that's different. But largely you will be free from body-generating ailments. Your attitude. Today modern science has admitted that it's an ever-expanding universe or an endless universe. Rather, ever-expanding is a yogic term, they're calling it an endless universe. We always told you, the yogic systems always insisted that the microcosm and the macrocosm are made the same way. If you know this piece of life, you will know everything in the universe because that's how it is made. When they say, if you know the way these bosons behave and what they are, they're saying we will know the whole universe, the way the universe was made, we will understand. But you don't understand that you are also a bloody boson. In the cosmic space, you're just a boson. So you are as much as a Higgs boson in the universe. If you observe this, if you pay enough attention to this, you would know everything. But if you have not even paid attention to anything around you, paying attention to within you will be out of question. Let's say if this is an atom, big enough for you to see? Okay. If this is an atom, proton, neutron, electron are all embedded in it like these dots. They thought it was like that. Then by the time you came to high school, they wrote a different picture. They wrote one central circle which contains proton, neutron, and electrons are going around like planets in different formats. Yes, you've seen those pictures? But now they know it's completely wrong. And we have always known it's completely wrong. That's why textbooks never ever interested me, because when I look at it, it looked dumb. Isn't it? So is there any scientific evidence? There's substantial scientific evidence today about how the molecular structure of the water can be rearranged without changing the chemical structure, even with a simple thought or a touch. The problem is, your grandmother told you this, didn't she? Didn't your grandmothers tell you, you should not drink water from anybody's hands, do not take food from anybody, there is a certain way, you must receive only if they have good intentions for you? Did they tell you these things? But when your grandmother said it, the problem is if it goes from the east, it is superstition. If it comes from the west, it becomes science. That's where it is. That has to change. Your generation of people, that's your responsibility to change that. That even if it goes from the east, if it is science, it's science.
The religions of the world have been screaming for a long time that God is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere, or you say everything is one energy, or you're talking about different realities or the same reality. God is everywhere, everything is one energy. Are we talking about the same thing? A scientist never experienced this, he only mathematically deduced it. When Einstein said E is equal to mc squared, that is not his living experience, that is his mathematical deduction.
It's moved away from its natural condition. How it was when it was in its natural condition, how it is now, it is moved away. We can still eat it still nourishes us, even though it's dead. It still nourishes us, but see how quiet it has become now? Not very enthusiastic. The first time we held it was clearly going this way. Right now it is simply… it is still not totally tamas, it is moving there, it's almost there. You will see in another 15–20 minutes, if you check it, it will be going anti-clockwise. By the time you see a tiny piece of moon, you will see actively it will be going this way. So if this was in your stomach right now, 7 o'clock, if you had your dinner and you were sitting here, this would be happening within you. So I thought it's better it happens outside than within you because food will rot in the stomach. If we go by the physical sciences, if we examine you by the limitations of physical sciences, on one level, you're just heart, liver, kidney, lungs and whatever. We know today they're all replaceable. Are you replaceable? Let's see what's happening to the sambar. It's important, isn't it? You see this? Are you able to see this? Actively going negative. Say we told you not to eat.
You drank cobra's venom with milk. Why?
It's venom, it's not poison. You need to understand that. Venom affects you only when it gets into your bloodstream, not necessarily in your stomach. But invariably, there will be some opening somewhere, some small cut, some small ulcer, something, it will enter, it has. Plus my eyelids are a little droopy, otherwise I'm okay. So whatever I offer to him, how do I offer to him without me taking it on? Venom worked out very well for me a long time ago. It took my life away, but it gave me something more precious than life. So venom did not work against me, venom worked for me, and it's continued to work for me. There are various aspects to it. My only concern is, if I speak about this, people will understand it in bits and pieces and take those bits and pieces and they may get bitten. Venom in small doses is very intoxicating. Too much of anything kills you. Even oxygen kills you, do you know this? Pongal can kill you. Too much pongal can kill you, believe me.
You know, instead of teaching this yoga, if I sit in Chennai and just predict people's future, I will tell you in the next 10 years exactly what will happen in your life. Within 3 days, I will have a reputation that half the Chennai will be standing in queue. Very easily I can do that.
We have always known, but today modern science has done enormous amount of experimentation on this. Now they're saying water is a liquid computer. The volume of memory and intelligence it carries by itself. It is a liquid computer, this is what they're saying, it's a fluid computer. We have always known this. What is called as tirth,
Why for one drop of water people go and stand in a temple is because it has the memory of the divine. You want to take that into your system. If the deity is powerful and the water has touched the deity, it has the memory of the divine, you want that to enter your system. But being in a pure space like this, it's a blessing.
This is what will happen. So when I spoke to this very top-level scientist, who's a Nobel laureate, and I was telling him that this is what it is, there were a group of… Hello? There was a group of them, and when I explained, this is how it is within me, what do you think? They said, Sadhguru, if you can give a mathematical backbone to what you're talking, this is Nobel Prize stuff. Can you give a mathematical background? I said, I'll never bother about the mathematics. It's true for me and it has transformed everything that I am because it's true for me. Everything that I ever was changed simply because I touched this dimension within me. I don't wish to work equations for that. And anyway, Nobel Prize wouldn't mean anything to me, I would be too embarrassed by such things. So,